සන්ධ්‍යාවක් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කර සිටිනවා ආචාර්ය මණ්ඩලයේ සියලු දෙනාටමත් වෛද්‍ය පීඨය මෙන්ම අනිකුත් පීඨ නියෝජනය කරමින් අප හා සම්බන්ධ වන සහෝදර සහෝදරියන්ටත්. පොතක් ගැන පැයක් කතිකාවතට එක්වන ඔබට ඒ පිළිබඳව කුතුහලයක් ඇති බවට නිසැකයි. පොතක් ගැන පැයක් කතිකාවත රුහුණු විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ වෛද්‍ය පීඨයේ කලා කේන්ද්‍රයට අනුබද්ධිත සාහිත්‍ය අනු කොමිටුව තුළින් ඔබට තිළින කරන මහඟු අවස්ථාවක්. මේ තුළින් ඔබ හදපත්ලෙන් ප්‍රේම කරන ඔබේ ජීවිතයට මඟ කියූ සොඳුරු සාහිත්‍ය ග්‍රන්ථයක් පිළිබඳව ඔබේ අදහස් වචනවලට පෙරලන්නට අපි ඔබට අවස්ථාවක් උදා කර දී තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ තුළින් එකී සාහිත්‍ය ග්‍රන්ථයන් පිළිබඳව ඔබේ විචාර ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමට, ඔබේ අදහස් උදහස් ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමට, ඔබව කතිකාවතකට සක්‍රියව සම්බන්ධ කර ගැනීමට මෙන්ම ලෝක ප්‍රකට ග්‍රන්ථ ලේඛකීන් පිළිබඳව ඔබේ දැනුම අවදි කරලීමට අපි සූදානම්. ඉතින් අත්දින කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයටත් අනත්දින කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයටත් සියලුම ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාවන්ටත් මේ තුළින් පොත් නම් වූ ඒ ලබැඳි මිතුරා නැවතත් ඔබේ ජීවිතයට එක් කරගන්නා ලෙසටත් ඔබ තුළ සැඟවී සිටින ඒ මහඟු සාහිත්‍ය දරයා නැවත අවදි කරලීමට මෙය අවස්ථාවක් කරගන්නා ලෙසටත් සෙනෙහබර සිතින් ඇරයුම් කර සිටිනවා. ස්තුතියි.
An hour with a book. You all that have gathered here might be curious about this concept. As the Literature Subcommittee of the Cultural Center of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna, our aim is to benefit the world with the compassionate humans with the enhanced aesthetic imagination for an awakened tomorrow. So we have brought forth this golden opportunity for you to recall the nostalgic memories of a book we all once loved as children and word your thoughts in this discussion. An hour with a book let you be actively involved in appreciating the world-renowned authors and their literary texts. Ernest Hemingway once told that there's no friend as loyal as a book. So we warmly invite to all the members of academic and non-academic staff and students of Faculty of Medicine to make the utmost out of this opportunity to once again be closer with the forgotten book lover within you.
ஒரு புத்தகம் பற்றி ஒரு மணி நேரம். இந்நிகழ்வில் கலந்து கொள்ள அனைவரும் ஆர்வத்துடன் வருகை தந்திருப்பீர்கள். ருகுண பல்கலைக்கழகத்தின் மருத்துவ பீட கலாச்சார மையத்தின் இலக்கிய கழகத்தினரான எங்களது நோக்கம் விழிப்புணர்வு மிக்க நாளைக்காக அழகியல் கற்பனையும் மனித நேயமும் நிறைந்த மனிதர்களை உலகிற்கு வழங்குவதாகும். பள்ளிப்பருவத்தில் பசியாய் படித்த நூல்களில் தேர்ந்ததும் நினைவுகளை நினைவு கூர்வதுடன் உங்களின் எண்ணங்களையும் பதிவு செய்ய ஒரு பொன்னான வாய்ப்பினை ஏற்படுத்தியுள்ளோம். ஒரு புத்தகம் பற்றி ஒரு மணி நேரம். உலக புகழ்பெற்ற எழுத்தாளர்களையும் அவர்களின் ஈடினை எல்லா ஆக்கங்களையும் பெருமிதத்துடன் போற்ற வழிவகுக்கட்டும். ஒரு சிறந்த புத்தகத்தை போல ஒரு சிறந்த நண்பன் வேறொருவன் இல்லை என்பது ஏர்னஸ்ட் ஹெமிங்வேயின் கருத்தாகும். இதற்கிணங்க இவ் அரிய சந்தர்ப்பத்தினை பயன்படுத்திக் கொள்ள கல்வி மற்றும் கல்விசாரா ஊழியர்கள் மற்றும் மருத்துவ பீட மாணவர்கள் அனைவரையும் அன்புடன் வரவேற்கின்றோம்.
Magic. The thought of the word even reminds me of the books and films about Harry Potter. In my childhood, if I fantasized anything, it was to be a wizard like Harry and do some cool spells and have my own magic wand. I think most of you here as kids, after watching or reading the books, would have definitely picked up a wooden stick and did some cool spells in your head, have wondered how cool it would be to walk in the halls of Hogwarts Castle and learn magic. This fantasy world was none other than the brainchild of the renowned author Mrs. J.K. Rowling. In 1995, Rowling finished her manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This book was submitted to 12 publishing houses, all of which rejected the manuscript. A year later, Bloomsbury agreed to publish the book. The book won its first award at Nestle Smarties Book Prize. In February 1998, the novel won the British Book Award for the Children's Book of the Year, and later the Children's Book Award. Its sequel, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, was published in July 1998, and again Rowling won the Smarties Prize. In December 1999, the third novel, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, won the Smarties Prize, making Rowling the first person to win the prize 3 times running. She later withdrew the fourth Harry Potter novel, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, from the contest to allow other books a fair chance. In January 2000, Prisoner of Azkaban won the inaugural Whitebread Children's Book of the Year award. 3 years later, she released the fifth Harry Potter novel, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. The sixth book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, was released on 16 July 2005. It too broke all sales records, selling 9 million copies in its first 24 hours of release. In 2006, Half-Blood Prince received the Book of the Year prize at the British Book Awards. The title of the seventh and final book was announced on 21st December 2006 as Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows. Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows was released on 21st July 2007 and broke its predecessor's record as the fastest selling book of all time. It sold 11 million copies in its first day of release in United Kingdom and United States. In the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling weaves her readers the story of a young boy by the name of Harry Potter, who on his 11th birthday discovers that he is a wizard and has become a student of one of the most prestigious schools of witchcraft and wizardry in the world, Hogwarts. In his adventures at Hogwarts, Harry must prove himself against the forces of dark magic, along with his friends from time to time. They receive the help of Hogwarts headmaster Albus Dumbledore. In conjunction, the three must work together to rid the magical world of the evil Dark Lord, Lord Voldemort, who, with his army of Death Eaters, threatens to take over the entirety of the magical and non-magical worlds, enforcing a tyrannical dictatorship over the two. Harry Potter series inspires its younger audience to take time out of their day and read, and it explores the deep internal conflict of self-sacrifice for the greater good and teaches its readers how important it is to think of the greater good rather than yourself sometimes. Once picked up by the children, Harry Potter seemed to be basically impossible to set down. One of the many reasons for this is because books, much like the characters in them, grow along with their readers. As the series progresses, the subject matter in them gets darker and more mature, much like the transition that takes place in our minds from childhood to adulthood. With 7 best-selling novels, 8 top-of-the-chart films, The Boy Who Lived now lives only in the hearts and minds of those whose lives he's touched.
සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක්. පොතක් ගැන පැයක් වෛද්‍ය පීඨයේ ඉන්න සියලු දෙනාට තම තමා ජීවිතවල ඒකාකාරී විඩාබර බවින් මිදිලා තමන් කැමති පොත්පත් ගැන කතා කරන්න පිළිබඳව තමන්ගේ අදහස් උදහස් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න වෛද්‍ය පීඨයේ කලා කේන්ද්‍රයේ අනුකම්පාමානයේ අධිපති වසන්ත දොස්සිරි මැතිතුමන් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය අධ්‍යයන හා අනධ්‍යයන සියලුම සමාජිකයන්ගෙන්ද එපමණක් නොව මා දයාබර සහෝදර ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාවන්ද මේ අවස්ථාවට පිළිගන්නේ සාදරයෙන්. හැරි පොටර් නවකතා මාලාව අප සිත් තුළ මැවූ ඒ විශ්මිත ලෝකයේ සැරිසරමින් මේ පුරා හෝරාවක කාලය අප සමග රැඳෙන්නට ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා. එපමණක් නොව අපි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාගේ මේ නවකතාව පිළිබඳව තියෙන මතකය අවදි කරන්නට කුඩා ප්‍රශ්න කිහිපයක් සූදානම් කරා. තව සුළු මොහොතකින් ඔබගේ තිරයේ ඉදිරිපත් වන ප්‍රශ්නවලට පිළිතුරු දෙන්නට අපි ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම ආරාධනා කර සිටිනවා.
Hello, everyone. Hope you all are having a great night at your home. An hour with a book. So today we are having our second book session, which is going to be on Harry Potter series. So first of all, I would like to thank Kasun Bimal for that great introductory video. So I think I have nothing more to add about the Harry Potter series because Kasun Bimal had included everything in that introductory video itself. I still remember when I was a tiny little kid, it was my cousin sister who gave me the first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That's how my journey started as a Potterhead. The crazy spells, the wand, the way they were doing magics, the mugglers and the wizardry, everything had me hooked in a world of fantasy. Today, all of us are gathered here to experience the nostalgic Harry Potter memories. I hope each and every one of you are as excited as I am right now. So without a further ado, let's dive into the exact session. So today, we will be having 6 write-up sessions written by our beloved club members. They will be presenting their ideology on Harry Potter series. So first of all, I would love to have Chaitra Jayasuriya from 41st batch, who is going to share her thoughts on this extraordinary book. Chaitra Jayasuriya, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Amna, for that lovely introduction. Yes, so hopefully I'm audible and visible. Could someone just confirm? Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes.
Yeah, so I'm here to talk a little bit about what I felt regarding the Harry Potter series. So as a child, I used to really love the books, and while watching the films, it really got me engrossed in the whole storyline. But the most intriguing factor, I mean, even when we started watching the series, the most intriguing factor was the soundtrack. So in my case, the Hedwig's theme by John Williams, which was composed by John Williams, was something that transported me to the wizarding world from the real world, and also the very simplistic writing style of Miss J.K. Rowling was also one of the real big facts, and also the story, the transitions, the ups and downs of Harry Potter throughout his life. And at the end of it all, it was really sad at the end of the 8th movie, where you actually see Harry Potter grown up with his own kids and moving on with adult life. We actually realize that we also have gone through this whole book series and also the film series as well. So yes, it was a fantastic experience. And also, as I told earlier, basically the soundtrack captured my heart and transported me into this wizarding world. And one astonishing fact that I realized at the end of maybe the 6th or the 7th book is how Dumbledore actually, how Severus Snape is accusing of Dumbledore to actually have raised Harry Potter to be a pig that is supposed to be slaughtered. So hope that's a very controversial topic, so a controversial aspect of the whole story. So hope to have everyone's input on that maybe later. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to kind of blabber about what I feel about Harry Potter. Yeah, thank you, madam, and thank you all the committee members of the Literature Society. Yeah, that's it from my end.
බෙහෙවින් ස්තුතියි අප හා අදහස් බෙදා ගන්නට එක්ව ඔබට. මීළඟට දෙවන නිර්මාණ ඉදිරිපත් කළ 43 ශිෂ්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ තමාරි වික්‍රමනායක සොයුරිය ඔබටයි ඉදහසට වෙන්වන්නේ.
Good evening, everybody.
Hope I'm clearly audible and visible. So, first of all, I wish you very good evening. Today, our book, the Harry Potter. Actually it is not a book, a series. Harry Potter book written by J.K. Rowling. In my presentation, I have included few incidents of Harry Potter series which I like most. Can you please move down my presentation? Can you please move down? Yeah. Okay. Please bit up. Okay. So in this Harry Potter series, here I included a few, as I told before, few incidents which I like most. Hope you remember the end of the first book of Harry Potter series, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. After awarding Harry, Ron, and Hermione a total of 160 points, Dumbledore gave Neville 10 points for standing up for his friends. That 10 points were able to clinch the House Cup for Gryffindor. At that moment, a statement told by Dumbledore lodged in my heart. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. For an instance, when we feel our friends are doing something wrong or unethical, sometimes we tend to remain silent without preventing them due to the fear of failing out or losing weight. But as good friends, our duty is to prevent them from bad deeds, whatever consequences go after it. So sometimes we have to go against our friends for the sake of their own good, and to do that, we should have both bravery and courage. That's why Neville was rewarded 10 points, and important messages convinced to the reader. So now I'm coming to my second one. So it is the scenery in the sixth book of Harry Potter series. So Harry had to use all textbook names, advanced potion making, and the pre-owner of this book had script all over the book. These handwritten notes contain amending procedures with alterations to many recipes, which were differ from original and typical instructions in the textbook. For an example, when the textbook is told to stir the potion 8 times in clockwise direction, the script notes set to stir 3 times in anti-clockwise direction. So when Harry tried these new methods, Harry acquired the best result than anyone in the class, and he even got rewarded for the best portion. So I have a doubt whether the author tried to give a message here. So, but in my point of view, it does no harm. It does no harm if you choose a different method instead of typical and standard pathway, if only the anticipated result can be gained by it. So, besides, if all people think within a conventional frame, there will be no progress in the world. So that's how I look into the scenery. So one of the most emotional moments occurred when Harry came to know the truth about the snake just after his death. Before his last breath, he muttered something to Harry. "You have your mother's eyes." This was a very familiar statement for Harry, because everyone had told always it, since Harry had the same green eyes just like his mother. But Harry was surprised to hear that from Snape, who was a traitor for Dumbledore and follower of Lord Voldemort. But Snape's true intentions were revealed later. In childhood, Lily and Snape were best friends. Snape secretly loved her. Even after marriage of Lily and James Potter, Snape's unconditional love for Lily remains same. So, knowing that Voldemort intentionally to kill Potter, Snape even pleaded with Voldemort to stay Lily's life. Then Snape offered Dumbledore his loyalty in exchange for Lily's protection. Lily and James were murdered, but Harry was survived. Then Snape was heartbroken and decided to sacrifice himself in order to protect the Harry as a gratitude for his unconditional love for Lily. So Snape's Patronus was also a dog, which symbolized his true love for Lily. Snape uses his dog Patronus to show Dumbledore that he never fell out with the love with Lily even after many years after death. So after all this time, asked Dumbledore, always, said Snape. Even though it is just a one word, always is considered as one of the most emotional and heartbroken lines from Potter series. But when Snape was alive, Harry hated Snape. Not only Harry. As readers, we all have the same feeling towards the Snape. But Snape secretly contributed most for the protection of Harry, risking his own life. This scenery remember me the popular proverb, don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes we are unable to recognize people's true hidden intentions. People have their own personal reasons for their behaviors that are unknown for outside world. So once Snape told that he became heartless person because his heart had died with Lily. So we should remember that people are not always what they see. So as a gratitude for Professor Severus Snape, Harry named his younger son with his name. We were named for two headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was probably the bravest man I ever knew. So I have come to end of my kitty. I like to wind up with a quote in the fifth book of Harry Potter series. We have all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the path we choose to act on. That's who we really are. So thank you very much for your listening, and thank you for the opportunity.
ඔබටත් බෙහෙවින්ම ස්තුතියි අප සමග එක්වුවාට.
Thank you, Tamari Vikramanayaka. When they said that they are going to discuss about the Harry Potter series, I was thinking that whether if someone will ever come up with that always line, because it has been my favorite line. And I think only those, the true Potterheads, can understand the value of that word, always. Thank you, Tamari Vikramanayaka. That was an awesome write-up. Now we will be moving toward our third write-up. So we have already witnessed two amazing write-ups, and I'm very much excited to hear from Supun Madhava from 40th batch. So Supun Madhava, the stage is all yours.
Yeah, good evening. Hope you can hear me well. So thank you, Amna, for your kind introduction. So Mudblood and Phoenix, that's how I named my write-up, it was quite challenging me to improvise my ideas on Harry Potter because I read this wonderful fiction when I was in grade 6 or 7. So as a child, I was so curious about each and every character and the concept that brought into our lives by this cinematic conceptualization by J.K. Rowling. But as a young teenager, I realized that this story is no longer a novel or a fiction, but sometimes which could have thought deeper in a different angle. So this story mentioned about a beautiful concept, mudblood. During a usual conversation, we know that Ron explains it to Harry, and Hermione could hear this conversation, and she was so upset about the fact that she was born into this particular family. So she could, this term is a highly derogatory term, you know, that muggle bones or half-blood wizard witch, that is which individuals with close muggle relatives. But on the other hand, I would like to move into the next character in the same context, that is the bird Phoenix. So it plays a recurring role as a trusty companion of Wizard Dumbledore. In Greek mythology, we know that it is associated with the sun, and Phoenix obtains its new life by arising from the ashes of its predecessor. Harry sees this bird in Wizard Dumbledore's office, and he experienced the phenomenon of immortality, where this beautiful bird burned out on ash and burn out and rise from its own ashes. So how we can combine these two concepts? So discrimination is a pathetic act that we all experience more or less during our lifetime. People always try to discriminate others based on the groups, classes, or other categories into which they are perceived to belong. So people may be discriminated on the basis of race, gender, age, religion, or sexual orientation, or as well as other categories. So what we have to understand is life is not fair always. Some people are born into better environments, some people have better genetics, some are in the right place at the right time. So life is a mixture of myriad torments and baffling situations that may even compel one unconsciously to erase all of the joyous occasions that they live. So every moment in life is full of unpredictable surprises. Some are good and some are really tough. A word or a simple joke, it can destroy someone's confidence, or else even it can make someone to lose the interest towards their own life, leading to commit suicide even. Earl Nightingale says, when you judge others, you do not define them, you define yourself. So that's what happened actually. We always want others to look at something from our point of view. So for that, we provide facts which are more or less judgmental. And these judgments are actually superficial and partial. They do not express the person adequately. Judging others, it can increase the fear of being judged, and also it can increase the feeling of connection and empathic understanding. Being less judgmental of others can improve both your relationships and your emotional well-being. So the comparison used to judge is more about you and your own strengths and weaknesses that has very little to do with the person being judged. George Herbert says, none knows the weight of another burden. So we all have had bad times in our life. Harry also had to go through so many things, but he was able to manage all those for a certain degree. So did Hermione. She became a great magician despite of all the opinions that everyone possessed about her, like mudblood. So there are things which are beyond our control. For an example, death of Harry's parents and also the family he was born into. Just like that, we suffer because of the idea that life was meant to be painless and things should go smoothly as it is, but it does not always do what we prefer. So if you're trying to change your life, your current status is totally irrelevant. So that's why I'm so much passionate about this beautiful Greek mythological creation, the Phoenix. It's not just a myth, it's all about the new hope. It's all about the rebuilding the soul and correcting ourselves. So that's what this novel series taught me. Humanity should arise from the ashes because it is the only thing that can make all of these efforts successful. Finally, I think this fiction has taught us having more melanin fat underneath your skin or wearing worn-off shoes would not make you ugly or inferior to the others. It is the qualities that you practice. It is the way you treat the others. And that matters at the end of our day as a human being, also at the end of our lives. So I would like to remind you, try to rise like a phoenix from the ashes when you feel you are broken. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy.
ඇත්තටම බොහොම ස්තුතියි අපි සමග අදහස් ඉදිරිපත් කරාට අපි හැමෝම කියපු පොතක්. හැබැයි අපි කවුරුත් නොදකපු පැත්තකින් අපිට ඒක දිහා බලන්නට ඇත්තටම අවස්ථාවක් ලබා දුන්නට. ඊළඟට මම කැමති තවත් සුළු කුඩා ප්‍රශ්න කිහිපයකට යොමු වෙන්න. නැවතත් ඔබේ තිරේ ප්‍රශ්න කිහිපයක් දකින්න ලැබෙයි. ඒවට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ පිළිතුරු ලබා දෙන්න.
මැජික් සල්පිලක් හැරේ. මේකක්වත් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම විකිනෙනවා.
අලුත්ම නිම්බස් 2000 කොස්සක්. ඒත් හැග්‍රිඩ් මං කොහොමද මේවට ගෙවන්නේ? මගේ ළඟ සල්ලි නැහැනේ.
අර තියෙන ඔයාගේ සල්ලි තියෙන තැන ග්‍රීන්ගොට්ස් බැංකුව. මේ තමයි මායාකාරීන්ගේ සල්ලි තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි අතරේ බොහොම ප්‍රසිද්ධ තැනක්. ඒගොල්ලෝ බැංකුවේ වැඩ. මායාකාරින්ගේ බැංකුව කියන්නේ හරිම කාර්යබහුල තැනක්. ඔහොම එන්නකෝ. මේ හැරිපොටර් මහත්තයාට යාගේ ගිණුමෙන් සල්ලි ගන්න ඕනෙලු.
ඇත්තද? එහෙමනම් හැරිපොටර් මහත්තයා ගාව තියනවාද සේප්පුවේ යතුරු?
පොඩක් ඉන්න. මම ළඟ ඇති. මෙතින් අතර තවත් කාරණයක් තියෙනවා ඔයාට කියන්න. මහාචාර්ය ඩම්බල්ඩෝ මේක ඔයාට දෙන්න කිව්වේ. මේ කාර්යය සම්බන්ධ දෙයක්. ඔයා දන්නවනේ මට නම කියන්න බෑ.
මන් දන්නවා. ලේප්පු නම්බර 687. එන්න.
මට විශ්වාසයි කුඩා වීඩියෝ පටියත් එක්ක අපි හැමෝම අපි ෂූටි කාලේ බලපු හැරි පොටර් නවකතා මාලාවේ පළවෙනි චිත්‍රපටයට අපේ මතකයේ ගියා කියලා වෙලා. ඊළඟට මම කැමතියි අද අපේ දවසේ තියෙන 4 වෙනි නිර්මාණය, ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ 43 වෙනි ශිෂ්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ මදුෂ ජයවික්‍රම සොහොයුරිය ඉදිරිපත් කරපු නිර්මාණයට ඇගේ අදහස් දැනගන්න.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude about giving me this opportunity to talk about one of my favorite childhood fantasy series, Harry Potter. So I could talk for hours about this, but since I'm going to have to break it up to simple 5 minutes, I chose to talk about 3 things in particular: 2 characters and a single quote from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I don't know whether you have read Cursed Child because it's quite new. It was released in 2016. But this book actually gives us insight to most of the characters that we have met throughout the series in the first few books of the Harry Potter series. So one of such characters being Draco Malfoy. Draco is portrayed as an arrogant and spoiled kid who did everything he did because of the sheer power and wealth of his father. So annoying and irritating, no one actually liked him. But as the story went on towards the end of the series, we also discover some other aspects to this character, such as he he was uncertain, and he was sometimes pushed to do things that he didn't really desire to do. So in the Cursed Child series, he's married and he has a kid. Draco's son and Harry's son actually becomes best buddies, and predictably they go and land themselves in trouble. So when that happens, Draco actually works together with Harry, his lifelong nemesis, forgetting everything he ever believed. He works with Harry in order to save them. So this shows us the power of paternal love. And also, this made me realize that Draco was not solely responsible for the things he did in the first few books. He was raised to think in a certain way from his childhood, and his upbringing, and his father mainly was responsible for the things he did. So this made me realize that we should be really careful about choosing people to trust, who we trust, because outside forces can manipulate you completely, the way you behave and what you believe. And talking about choosing people and choosing who you trust, another character that comes to my mind, which is Severus Snape, and I think most of you will agree with me when I say that Severus Snape is one of the most iconic characters J.K. Rowling has ever created. I was quite shocked to find out that Snape was not a villain, but a hero, a total hero. So throughout the series, I did not expect him to be anything other than cruel and vengeful and villain, but no, it wasn't like that. But after realizing the truth, after learning the truth, of course, I would see those moments, those tiny instances where I would go like, of course, Snape did this, so then he could save Harry from getting trapped in situations like this. And in real life, it's also like that. We are completely, utterly blind to the truth that is lying right in front of our eyes. That's because we see what we choose to see. So next time when you meet a really repulsive person, don't be hasty to judge them. Just give them a second chance. Who knows, you might be surprised to find out some personality with polar opposite qualities than what you saw in the first encounter. But keep in mind, it could work the other way as well. Some people might appear to be good, well-intentioned and really good, but of course there might be some bad aspects to them. And also moving on quickly to the quote I chose, let me read it out for you guys. Perfection is beyond the reach of humankind, beyond the reach of magic. In every shining moment of happiness is that drop of poison, the knowledge that pain will come again. Be honest to those who you love, show your pain. To suffer is as human as to breathe. I don't think there's a better way to capture the essence, the truth of life into words than this. J.K. Rowling did an amazing job of doing that here. And Cursed Child is full of quotes like this, and I really love that book for that single fact alone. And this got me thinking about the endless struggle humans are immersed in throughout their lives, trying to become more and trying to reach for that non-existent perfection. In our struggle to reach for that perfection, we are forgetting to live our lives today, right now. So in 10 years' time, you would look back at today and realize that you have missed the whole point of admiring it. So don't wait until it's too late. Admire what you're living through, admire what you're going through today itself. Even though there's pain, don't wish for it to end, because to feel pain and to suffer is a part of being human. To suffer is as human as to breathe, as J.K. Rowling puts it, which is quite true. And yeah, this timeless tale of magic and heroism has lived to entertain and educate people of all ages. And this is the kind of narrative we would never get tired of, no matter how many times we revisit it. So already having painted our childhoods with vivid colors, I'm certain it would continue to thrive and inspire many more generations to come. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, that's all from my side. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Madhushi. That was an eye-opening speech, I must say, because like you said, we are running behind something. We are running behind, sometime behind reputation, sometime behind money, sometime behind learning something. So in the struggle of learning and in the struggle of, trying to become the perfect person, we are missing out many things, like you mentioned. There is no such thing as perfect exist. Okay, so thank you, Madhushi, once again for that awesome review. Next, we will be moving on with our write-up for the day. So let's have Kasun Dima from 42nd batch to present his ideology on Harry Potter series.
If given the chance to live the life of a wizard, anyone would take it at once because it's an unfulfilled fantasy of any human being. No matter how advanced the human civilization is, we have already had that inner deep craving for magic. Especially kids with their vivid fantasies would love to live in a world full of magic. For me, as a kid, when I was growing up, I had one series of books and films which fulfilled my fantasy and took me to a whole new imaginary world inside my head. It's none other than the world famous book series Harry Potter and the film adaptation of it by Warner Bros. My first introduction to the story of Harry Potter was through the film, which was telecasted in the television. It just snapped something inside my kid brain and I was instantly hooked in. I wanted to know more. I wanted to live in the magical world with Harry Potter, and soon I was lucky enough to get a copy of Harry Potter. It was the first time I had ever read a novel, and it was my introduction to the world of books. Through that book, my childhood. In my childhood, I was able to live in a magical world full of magic and play with spells in my head, and it developed my imagination skills and my love for books. The story starts with little baby Potter, who just defeated Lord Voldemort and was handed over to his uncle by his future headmaster, Albus Dumbledore. Harry, as an orphan, had one of the worst childhood experiences imaginable, growing in the house of his uncle and aunt. They treated Harry as a burden, and he was given a bedroom under the stairs. He was constantly bullied by his cousin Dudley. When Hagrid came and explained to him, he was a wizard, and he was to be taught on one of the best schools for witchcraft and wizardry, Hogwarts. This was the beginning of the marvelous journey of Harry, and soon we find him choosing his first wand. Soon he met his lifelong friends, Ron, on his way to platform 9 and 3 quarters. Going through a wall and entering the magical world was an iconic scene in this series. Then they board the Hogwarts Express and their two newly bonded friends, Harry and Ron, meet Hermione for the first time. Soon they arrive at Hogwarts Castle and go on a boat ride across the lake, and then they enter the legendary school and were sorted into different houses. During the early stages of the story, the author manages to hook the readers up by showing the beauty of magic, by the graphical descriptions of the magical ceiling and wonderful sorting head, which sings merrily to welcome the first years. Slowly but steadily, as the story progresses, the trio, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, form a strong bond of friendship. Harry had never ending curiosity and always had the urge to know what was going on, and he always had a deep urge inside himself to fight for justice. The author first hints this when Harry got the remark of Professor to not only to fly above the ground to recover the remembrance from Malfoy and to return it to its owner. This good deed didn't go unnoticed, and Harry was awarded the place of the youngest seeker in their history. The author, by this incident, emphasizes the point that bullying is not accepted and we should stand up to bullies. And if we do not do something good to the universe, we receive something good back in return as well. These types of morals are found throughout the book, and through magic and fantasy, the author tries to implant the good moral values to the reader. Furthermore, I would like to add few things to my write-up. So, if anyone here have never read the books and only have watched the films, you have lost 99% of the content here. And through the books, you find many more details than what is found in the films. So, if you have never ever read the books and only have watched the movies, then I would like to ask you to read the books. You would never find out what the sorting hat, sang merrily to welcome the first years. What was the backstory of the Creech? How Harry and Ginny developed their relationship? How the chemistry between them uh, went up through the time? You would never find out many details which were emitted from the movies when they were made. So, as my final verdict, I would like to recommend anyone who have never read the books and only have watched the movies, please watch the movies. You would never find it boring. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
It was foolish of you to come here tonight, Tom. The orders are on their way.
By which time I shall be gone. And you shall be dead.
ඇත්තට මේ වීඩියෝ පටිය මට අලුත් අත්දැකීමක්. මොකද කස්ලුන් කියපු හේතුව නිසා මේ කියන්නේ ඒ පොත් චිත්‍රපටයක් බවට පත් වෙනකොට ගොඩාක් කොටස් මගහැරලා තියෙනවා දැක්ක හින්දාම ඇත්තටම තුන්වෙනි චිත්‍රපටය ඉස්සරහට බලන්න. ඇත්තට මේ ඒ පෙන්නපු වීඩියෝ පටියේ තියෙන දර්ශන මම කවදාවත් දැකලා නැහැ. ඇත්තටම කසන් කියවා වගේ මටත් හිතුණා මම පොත් කියවන එකෙන් විතරක් නවතින්නේ නැතුව මමත් ඉතුරු චිත්‍රපට ටික බලුවා නම් බලන එක ඇත්තටම හොඳ අත්දැකීමක් වෙයි කියලා. ඊළඟට මම කැමති වුණ වෙන අද දවසේ අවසාන නිර්මාණය. ඒ කියන්නේ 43 වෙනි ශිෂ්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ අමීෂා ඇහැලමල්පේ සොහොයුරිය ඉදිරිපත් කරපු නිර්මාණය පිළිබඳව ඇගේ අදහස් දැනගන්න.
Well, good evening, everyone. So, the topic I chose was Harry Potter and the Muggle feelings. Well, topic might be a bit extraordinary, and as the former speakers talked about it, they dig into deep to Harry Potter. So I won't be talking a lot about Harry Potter, but I'll be talking about what I have been writing in my literary critique. Well, Harry Potter is known as one of the greatest fantasy books in the history, and therefore Harry Potter is loved by everyone without any difference in their age groups. But when I was asked to write about Harry Potter, I was a bit confused because Harry Potter is mainly known as a fantasy book, but when it comes to literature critics, I'm more into criticizing reality. So when we were asked to write about Harry Potter, I had to dig into the book again. So when I did, I remembered what someone said once. Someone said that no matter what age you are, just reread your books from your past because the plot might not change, but what your perspective of the plot will be changing from age to age. And I found it true. I didn't find Harry Potter as just a fantasy book when I went back to it again. I found a great underlying story that J.K. Rowling has been trying to tell us through all this time. Harry Potter is not just about magic, magic wands, and magical creatures. It is much more about humans, humanity, love, and everything. It we all find ourselves in Harry Potter. I found myself in several incidents in Harry Potter, and I think many of us can relate to them. So I found the bridge between the Muggle world and Harry Potter's magical world. Well, the Muggle world is actually the world which has no magic abilities, and we all are Muggles according to J.K. Rowling. So when I found that the bridge between Harry Potter and Muggle world, it was actually the emotions and humanity and what we feel from our hearts. So Harry Potter is not just about magic and wands, as I said earlier. Harry Potter is about a Lily Potter who protected her son, and even she had to die. And it was about a Voldemort who was in the immense greed of power, and at least he lost his life and everything at the end. It was about a Dumbledore who fought with bravery and for the right. And the most touching character in Harry Potter is Severus Snape. Severus Snape is one of the greatest lovers in this series, and also we can tell that he's one of the greatest lovers in literary history. He loved the woman to this end of his life, and he protected her son no matter what. He had to give out his life, but he protected her son to the end. And talking about there are Hermione and Ron, they were the true symbols of friendship, and also we could say Dobby, such characters like Dobby. Dobby was a symbol of loyalty, but not only loyalty. Dobby was a pure symbol of the will to the freedom and independence. We all love to be independent and not to be slaves of anyone else. So Dobby was a pure symbol of independence. Likewise, I found many touching moments in Harry Potter that which connected you and me and everyone else to this story, not just magic and this fantasy. But I think that these small incidents that which really touched our hearts connected us to the story that J.K. Rowling has been trying to tell us. So that's all from my end. And special thanks goes to Madam and the committee for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
ස්තුතියි ඔබට. හැරි පොටර් කතාමාලාව විශ්මිත මායාගතාන්තයකට එහා ගිය මානව හැඟීම් සමුදායක එකතුව. මහාචාර්ය ඩම්බෙල්ඩෝ, ස්නේප්, සීරියස් බ්ලැක්, වොල්ඩිමෝට් මේ සියලු දෙනා මානව පෞරුෂයන්හි විවිධාකාර පැතිකඩයන් නිරූපණය කරනවා. කුඩා අවදියේදී මායාලෝකයට ආසාවෙන් මේ නිර්මාණ රසවින්දා වුවත් අද මේ ගැන විමසීමේදී මනසට නැගෙන චිත්‍රය එදාට වඩා හාත්පසින්ම වෙනස්. එය තවත් තහවුරු කරන්නට අද වැඩසටහන ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම සමත් වුණා. ඔබට හැරි පොටර් දැනුනේ කොහොමද? මෙතෙක් වෙලා සාවධානව වැඩසටහන රස විඳි ඔබටයි මේ අවස්ථාව.
Can I contribute?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and thank you very much. That's very interesting. I have to fight my kids to read the books. They were reading, and I got it, and I read all the books. But at the end of the day, what I thought was, what do you make out of the snap? Because when we were medical students, we had a few teachers who I thought that they were sort of a bullying and then sort of trying to make us very hard learning. And then at the end of the day, today, looking back, I realized that they were the best. And Snap protected Harry in a way that you can remember the scene that there were a few ghosts protecting him even when he was not there. I'm just wondering whether anybody had read him enough. Thank you.
හොඳයි බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි සර් නිරන්තරයෙන් අපිව ශක්තිමත් කරන්න ඔබතුමා දක්වන සහයෝගයට හා අදහස් වලට. ඒ වගේම මම කැමති ආචාර්ය මණ්ඩලයේ හෝ ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාවන්ගේ තවත් අදහස් වලට යම් විනාඩි කිහිපයක් ලබා දෙන්න.
Can I take the opportunity?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that enlightening thing. Now, like Amisha said, when I was reading that book, as a kid, I had different kind of feeling, like it was a total fantasy and everything. And like he mentioned, when I grow up and if I read the book again, it's not the same to me as well. And like Sir said, the most appealing character, the iconic character for me is Snape. I can't even figure out that how much a person can love another person when that person is already settled. And Snape knows that. He knew that Lily loves James and he knew that he has no part in her life. Still, after knowing everything, Snape was always there for Lily. It's like we all know that there is a symbol of love, Taj Mahal. So they say that it was built right after when Mumtaz was died. So even though the symbol is still there, Mumtaz is the only person who had no idea how much the King Shah Jahan loved her. So in the same manner, Snape's love was something immortal. Lily had no idea that there was someone who was loving her and who is ready to die for her, who is ready to give up his own life for her flesh and blood. So that's something very inspiring and aspiring, and it teaches us a lot of things, that we should be doing something without expecting anything in return. So if we keep doing the good things that we want to do, then I think we will be benefited in the end. We should not be worrying about what others might think, or we should not be giving explanation for what are we doing. And Snape is an iconic character, and I think that's the best character that J.K. Rowling has written ever so far. Thank you for the opportunity.
මමත් කැමති අතරම අදහසක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න. දැන් මේ කතා මාලාව පුරාම අපි දුෂ්ටයා විදියට දකින්නේ. يعني පළවෙනි කතාව ඉඳන් අන්තිම කතාව වෙනකම් අපි දුෂ්ටයා විදියට දකින්නේ වෝල්ඩමෝට්. يعني කටේ නාම කියන්නත් බයයි. But what is the reason behind him being the villain? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි දකින අතරම අපි සමාජයේ අපරාධකාරයෝ දැක්කොත් නරක මිනිස්සු දැක්කොත් එimhe their background stories like really harsh. Their childhood was really bad. Maybe they were orphaned, they were mistreated in the childhood. Like most of the time they had a really rough upbringing. That is the reason that made them criminals, villains, tend to become sociopaths, and like they were the one who tried to hate the society. I think the reason the Voldemort turned out to be some kind of that kind of a person is also his upbringing, his rough childhood. Like he was not accepted from the society, he was an orphan, he didn't have his parents, and he was bullied. And every time, like, I believe that if he was given that support when he was a little kid, if someone loved him and if someone nurtured him, just like the other kids in the society, he would never have become that kind of a character, that kind of a villain, that kind of a person who will hate the society. So I think that also gives out kind of an idea, like for like all the children, like if they have a happy upbringing, if they have a good nurturing upbringing, they will turn out to be productive into the society. They will tend to love the society. But I think that is also given out in that story, that how a child's upbringing, how the child's family background, the nurturing, everything decides what he becomes as an adult, how he looks at, how it decides the way they look at the society. So I think that even though like we look at Voldemort as this person who tries to kill everyone, who is really harsh and really bad, I think like within himself, his heart might be like a really broken thing, which kinds of yearn for the love from the other people. That's my opinion. And over to you, Rasanga.
බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි සහෝදරිය. අපගේ මගේ එලිකරනවා සිදු කරන සියලු දේ අරබයා අප බෙහෙවින් කෘතවේදී වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තවත් ජම්මයක් කතා කිරීමට අදහස් දැක්වීමට කැමති නම් මම කැමති තවත් අවස්ථාවක් ලබා දෙන්න.
I would also like to elaborate something regarding that. So for me, the worst villain I have ever met was not Voldemort, not any other character, but the lady in pink. If anyone can remember her.
Umbridge.
Does anyone? Yeah.
Professor Umbridge.
Yeah,
Sort of, I can't remember.
Yeah, she
Professor
made
Umbridge.
Harry write all those things
Yeah.
in his skin and all.
It's
Yeah, she
Professor
was brutal.
Umbridge. Yeah. So if we look at the backstory of her, which was not included in the movies, but it was in the fan fiction. So Professor Umbridge was an half-born. Like she was a mudblood in the same. So she had Muggle parents, but she became a witch. So in the story, if we read it out, we find that Professor Umbridge punishes the half-bloods, the mudbloods. It's her own kind. So we can see the hypocritically developing there. So if we look at the real world scenarios, like the Holocaust done by Hitler, he was afraid of Jews, but because of that, he killed thousands and thousands of them. His reasoning behind it was that Jews would one day overthrow them, that they would be better than them. So he had to take actions to stop them. So when we look at Umbridge, she was a mudblood, and she, during her own lifetime, she tried to hide that. She tried to show that she was a pureblood, and because of that, she tried to kill her own people. So hypocrisy developed within humans has no reason behind their upbringing. It's mostly their mentality, their insecurities. They turn it, they morph it, and they develop something cruel. And because of that, they try to kill, they try to harm the others. So I think Mrs. J.K. Rowling tried to portray these stories in a different manner, in a fantasy world. But these stories, even though they are fantasies, if we take out the fantasy and if you look at the core, I think these have much more reality, the reality of politics and everything in there, in those books hidden under the fantasies. So thank you for the opportunity.
ස්තුතියි කසුන්. තවත් අදහසක් තියෙනවද කතා කරන්න?
ප්‍රසංග මටත් එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන් අදහසක්.
ඕනි.
කතාවේ බැලුවම මැජික් ගැන කියවෙනවා කතාමාලා 7ක් ඔස්සේම පොත් 7ක් ඔස්සේම. මම අජිත් සර් කිව්වා වගේම මම දකිනවා මේකේ නොදකින පැත්තක්. මැජික් වලට එහා ගිහිල්ලා සැබෑ මිතුරා සැබෑ හතුරා කියන කෙනා පේන්නේ නැහැ කියන දේ. හොඳ උදාහරණයක් විදියට අපි මුලින්ම සැරයි නරකයි කියපු ටීචර්ස්ලා පස්සේ අපිට අපේ ජීවිතේ හොඳමම ගුරුවරු වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේමයි ගෙදර ඇතිකර සුරතලයට ඇතිකර මීයා. පස්සේ බැලින්නම් ලොකුම හතුර වෙලා ගෙදර අවුරුදු ගාණක් ඉඳලා. ඒ වගේමයි අපි සීරියස් බ්ලැක් අයිතන ආපහු එනවා කියනවා බලන් ගියාම එයා තමයි මේ ඉඳපු ඉන්න හැරි පොටර්ට හොඳම ආරක්ෂකයා. මං හිතනවා ලොකු වෙලාවක් ගන්න නෙවෙයි හැරි පොටර් කතා මාලාවේ මැජික් වලට එහා ගිහිල්ලා පේන්නේ ඉන්න හර්මයිනි රොන් වගේම හැංගුණ මිතුරන් හැංගුණ හතුරන් කියන දෙයක් ඉන්නවා කියන එකත් පෙන්නනවා කියන්නේ. ඒක මම දැකපු කතාවේ තියෙන වෙනස්ම පැත්තක්. ස්තුතියි රසංග ස්තුතියි සංසදේ.
බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි අයියේ ඔබගේ අදහස් වලට අපි තමත් ගරු කරනවා ඒ අදහස් වලට. එසේනම් කාල වේලාව සීමිත බැවින් අදහස් දැක්වූ සියල්ලන්ටම නැවත වරක් ගෞරවය හා කෘතවේදී භාවය පුද කරමින් මම කැමැතියි මෙවර පොතක් ගැන පැයක් වැඩසටහනේ ඉදිරිපත් වූ නිර්මාණ වලට සහතික පත්‍ර ප්‍රදානය කිරීමේ අවස්ථාවට යමු.
Okay, thank you, Rasanga, for that lovely interaction with everyone. So, like we have discussed, each book has a lot to say, a lot to offer, and a lot to teach. Sometimes the messages will be so direct, we don't have to overlook. Sometimes the messages will be hidden underneath the lines. You have to take a magnifying glass and you have to keep on decoding what the book is conveying to you. So we had 6 awesome write-ups in this night from 6 different our beloved club members who presented us with 6 different perspectives of the book. And some of the perspectives were very much new to me, and I hope you all had a great time as well. So now we are almost at the threshold of ending this session. Even though we had 6 write-ups, we have to pick the 3 best from the best 6. So without any delay, I'll go on with the places. So the 3rd best write-up for the 2nd session, an hour with the book, Harry Potter series, is being grabbed by none other than Supun Madhava from 40th batch. So I know, guys, we are having online session. So I think it will be really glad if you all can switch on your camera and give him a big round of applause, or maybe you can use the reactions and you can give a clapping emoji or something. So it will be really appreciable.
ඊළඟට අද දවසේ නිර්මාණවලින් දෙවනි තැන ගත්තේ 41 වෙනි ශිෂ්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ චෛත්‍රි ජයසූරිය සහෝදරිය. ඊළඟට අපි හැමෝම බලගෙන කවුද පළවෙනි ස්ථානෙ ගත්තේ කියලා. ඒතර අද දවසේ පළවෙනි ස්ථානය අරන් තියෙන්නේ 43 වෙනි ශිෂ්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ තමාරි වික්‍රමනායක සහෝදරිය. මේ අපි හැමදෙනාටම සුබ පතනවා. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඉස්සරහට අපේ තියෙන වැඩසටහන වලටත් මේ විදිහටම ඇවිල්ලා අදහස් දක්වන්න ආරාධනා කරනවා. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඒ පළවෙනි දෙවෙනි තුන්වෙනි ස්ථාන දිනාගත්ත කට්ටියට සූදානම් කරලා තියෙනවා ත්‍යාගයක්. ඒක අපේ මනෝවෛද්‍ය අධ්‍යයනාංශය එහෙම නැත්නම් සයිකියාට්‍රි ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකෙන් ගිහිල්ලා ලබා ගන්න කියලාත් මතක් කරන්න කැමතියි. ඇත්තටම හොඳ පොතක් කියවලා ඉවරනකොට අපිට දැනෙන්නේ අලුත් වුණා වගේ හැඟීමක්. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඇත්තට මේ නවකතා මාලාව කියවලා ඉවරනම අපිට ඇරෙන්නේ අලුත්ම ලෝකයක්. එතකොට ඒ වගේම තමයි මට හිතෙන්නේ දැන් මේ වගේ අර අත්‍තරම එකම දෙයක් ගැන අපි හැමෝගෙම අදහස් දැනගන්න තියෙන මේ වගේ අර්ථාන්විත කතා බහක් ඉවරනකොට මට දැනෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම හරිම මේ උද්‍යෝගකර ඒ වගේම හරිම තෘප්තිමත් හැඟීමක්. ඒත් හැම හොඳ දෙයක්ම කොයි හරි වෙලාවක ඉවර වෙනවා වගේ තමයි දැන් අද මේ පැයකටත් වැඩි කාලයක් අපි මේ ගත කරපු වැඩසටහනත් නිමාව සනිටුහන් කරන්න වෙලාව ඇවිල්ලා. එතකොට නිමාව සනිටුහන් කරන්න කලින් අදහස් දක්වන්නට මම කැමතියි ආරාධනා කරන්න වෛද්‍ය ගයානි පුංචිහේවා මහත්මිය ඔබතුමියට.
Thank you, Vidya. So we had a wonderful session. I'm so glad that everybody enjoyed it. So as concluding remarks, first of all, I would like to thank Cultural Center of the Faculty of Medicine for creating this platform for all of us to interact and share the creativity and to enjoy. And then, of course, all the enthusiastic members of the literature subcommittee for their dedication and commitment to make this event a success. And also I would like to thank Mrs. Samara Vikrama, who helped us to select the winners. And then all of the students who shared their creative work with us during this session. And finally, I would like to thank all of you who joined the session virtually. So have a pleasant evening.
Thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. Gayani Punchiheva, not only for that lovely speech, but also for always being there behind us, guiding us. Madam is someone who is like messaging and asking every day, how is the progress? When is the session will be? So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for all the guidance and support that you have been rendering toward us. So guys, so this officially marks the ending of the second session of An Hour with a Book with Harry Potter series. We as a club, we can see the involvements getting bigger and better. We are really glad that you all had a nice time with us. Organizing such an event in an online platform may seem like an easy pie, but it is not. So I would love to extend my gratitude to the EXCO committee members, the active club members, the batch representatives, and to the awesome writers who came up with awesome writings. Our heartfelt sincere thanks to Dr. Champa Vijaysinkar and Dr. Gayani Punchiheva. Thank you, ma'am, for always getting us moved on. Hope you all had a great night with us. So this officially marks the ending of the second session of An Hour with a Book Harry Potter series. Next month, we will be again discussing another book adventure. So stay tuned, guys. We will be having the posters and flyers and everything coming up for you. Stay safe. Good night. Until the next time.
Thank you. Just make sure that when you are coming to the finals, keep these enthusiastic. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.